story of Aamir Khan, the perfectionist who changed Indian cinema forever. Introduction. Hello, my dear learner. I want to start today with a question that might feel uncomfortable. When was the last time you gave something, truly gave it, your absolute everything? Not 90%, not your best effort on a good day, but everything. Every thought, every hour, every ounce of energy and focus and passion, pinned completely into one single thing until it became the best version of itself that it could possibly be. Most of us, if we are honest, have never done that. Not because we are lazy, but because that level of commitment is genuinely frightening. It requires sacrifice. It requires saying no to comfort, to convenience, to the easy path. It requires believing so completely in what you are doing that you are willing to look obsessive, difficult, and unreasonable to the people around you, because you simply cannot accept anything less than extraordinary. Today, I am going to tell you the story of a man who has lived exactly that way for his entire career. A man who has made fewer films than almost any major star in Indian cinema, and yet created more impact than almost all of them. A man who gained 28 kilograms for one role and lost them all for the next. A man whose films have not just entertained India, they have genuinely changed it. His name is Aamir Khan, and his story is not just about films. It is about what happens when one human being refuses, completely and absolutely, to accept the ordinary. Let us begin.
Part 1. Born into cinema, but choosing his own path. Aamir Khan was born on 14th March 1965 in Mumbai, India. His family had deep roots in the film industry. His father, Tahir Hussain, was a film producer, and his uncle, Nasir Hussain, was a celebrated filmmaker and producer. So yes, like Salman Khan and many others of his generation, Aamir was born near the door of Bollywood. But here is what makes Aamir's beginning different. Even as a child, he was not dazzled by the glamour around him. He was curious, thoughtful, quiet in a way that suggested his mind was always working on something deeper than the surface of things. His school friends remember him as someone who asked too many questions, who was never satisfied with simple answers, who always wanted to understand the why behind everything. He made his acting debut as a child in his uncle's film Yadon Ki Barat in 1973, but his real journey began much later. In 1988, at the age of 23, he appeared in Qayamat Se Qayamat Tak. The film was a love story, simple and beautiful, and Aamir's performance was so natural, so genuine, so completely without artifice, that audiences immediately felt they were watching a real person rather than a film star. India fell quietly and completely in love. The lesson of Part 1. Being near opportunity means nothing if you do not bring your whole self to it. Aamir was born near the film industry, but what he brought to it, the curiosity, the depth, the refusal to be ordinary, that was entirely his own.
Part 2. The Perfectionist. A man who made quality his religion. Very early in his career, Aamir Khan made a decision that would define everything that followed. He decided that he would never compromise on the quality of his work, no matter what it cost him. While other stars were signing 5 or 6 films simultaneously, working on multiple sets across multiple cities, Aamir chose to do one film at a time. Just one, with complete, undivided, total attention. This meant he made fewer films than his contemporaries. It meant he earned less money in certain years. It meant he was sometimes out of the public eye for long stretches, while other stars remained constantly visible. People questioned his strategy. Industry insiders called him difficult. Producers found him demanding. Because when Aamir was working on a film, he was involved in everything. The script, the casting, the music, the editing, the marketing. He did not treat filmmaking as his job. He treated it as his responsibility to the story, to the audience, and to the truth the film was trying to tell. And the results were impossible to argue with. Lagan in 2001, a film about Indian villagers challenging their British colonizers to a game of cricket, was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Foreign Language Film. It was only the third Indian film in history to receive that honour. Tare Zameen Par in 2007, which Aamir also directed, changed the way India understood children with learning disabilities. Millions of parents watched that film and saw their own children differently. Schools changed their approaches. Teachers changed their methods. The lesson of Part 2. Quality is not a standard you apply to your work. It is a value you apply to your life. When you commit to doing one thing at a time and doing it with your whole self, the results speak in a language that needs no translation.
Part 3. The films that changed India, not just entertained it. There are film stars, and then there are filmmakers who use their platform to actually move a society forward. Aamir Khan belongs firmly and remarkably in the second category. Three Idiots in 2009, the highest-grossing Indian film of its time, was not just a comedy about college friends. It was a direct, funny, heartfelt challenge to India's education system. A system that pressures children to pursue careers chosen by their parents rather than their own passion. A system that measures human worth through examination scores. The film made India laugh, and then made India think, and then made many Indian parents have conversations with their children that they had been avoiding for years. Dangle in 2016 became the highest-grossing Indian film in history, earning over 2,000 crore rupees worldwide. It told the true story of Mahavir Singh Phogat, a wrestler who trained his daughters to become world-class athletes at a time when Indian society believed girls should focus on marriage rather than medals. Aamir gained 28 kilograms to play the older version of Mahavir, and then lost every kilogram and rebuilt his entire body to play the younger version. The film did not just break records. In China, where it became a cultural phenomenon, it sparked national conversations about gender equality and the potential of women. In India, it made millions of ordinary people reconsider what they believed their daughters were capable of. One film, one performance, one story told with complete commitment, and the world shifted just a little in the direction of something better. The lesson: when you use your gifts in service of something larger than yourself, the impact multiplies beyond anything you can calculate. Your work does not have to just be good. It can be genuinely useful to the world. Part 4. The courage to speak, even when it was uncomfortable. Here is the part of Aamir Khan's story that requires the most courage to tell, and perhaps the most courage to hear. In 2015, Aamir Khan spoke publicly about feeling unsafe in India, about a sense of growing intolerance in the country, in a conversation that was broadcast widely. The reaction was enormous. Millions of people supported him for speaking honestly. Millions of others criticized him intensely, calling him ungrateful, anti-national, and worse. He faced boycott calls. Brand deals were threatened. The pressure to stay silent or to apologize and take back his words was immense.
He did not take them back. Whatever one's personal view of his statement, and people hold genuinely different views on this, what cannot be denied is that speaking that truth in that moment required real personal courage. He knew the cost before he spoke.
he spoke anyway. This is not a comfortable part of his story, but it is an important one, because it shows us something essential about Aamir Khan's character that runs through everything he has ever done, from choosing quality over quantity, to gaining 28 kilograms for a role, to directing a film about a child with dyslexia. He does not make decisions based on what is safe or popular or comfortable. He makes them based on what he believes is true and right. The lesson? Real integrity is not about being popular. It is about being consistent, saying and doing what you believe is right, even when the cost is real and the pressure to stay silent is enormous.
Part 5. Aamir Khan today. Still searching, still growing. Today, in 2026, Aamir Khan is 61 years old. He remains one of the most watched and most discussed figures in Indian cinema. His production company, Aamir Khan Productions, continues to develop projects with the same commitment to meaningful storytelling that has defined his entire career. He remains deeply involved in social causes, particularly education and water conservation in rural India, through his television show Satyameva Jayate, which ran for 3 seasons and brought genuine social issues to tens of millions of living rooms across the country. What is perhaps most remarkable about Aamir Khan in 2026 is something that is very hard to find in the entertainment industry, or in any industry, honestly. He is still genuinely curious, still searching, still willing to question himself, to try new things, to make mistakes publicly and learn from them openly. He has said in interviews that he never feels like he has mastered anything, that every new project feels like starting again from a place of not knowing, and that this feeling of uncertainty, which most people spend their lives trying to escape, is actually the most honest and productive place to work from.
That idea that the feeling of not knowing is not weakness, but aliveness, is perhaps the most important thing Aamir Khan has ever said, and it is something that every learner of language, of life, of anything worth knowing needs to hear. The lesson: stay a student forever. The moment you believe you have arrived, you stop growing. The most extraordinary people in every field are the ones who never stop feeling like beginners. Ending. What you learned. My dear learner, what a remarkable and genuinely inspiring human being we have spent time with today. We sat with a curious, questioning boy who was born near opportunity and chose to bring his whole self to it. We watched him make the difficult, lonely, costly decision to pursue quality over quantity, one film at a time, and we watched that decision change Indian cinema forever. We saw him use his gifts not just to entertain, but to genuinely move a society toward more compassion for children, more belief in daughters, more honesty about difficult truths. We faced the uncomfortable parts honestly, because real stories have uncomfortable parts, and we arrived here at a 61-year-old man who is still curious, still searching, still willing to feel like a beginner, because he knows that is where all real growth lives.
Let me leave these lessons gently inside you. The first lesson: bring your whole self to one thing at a time. In a world that celebrates multitasking and constant busyness, Aamir Khan chose depth over breadth. One film, complete attention, total commitment. Try that with one area of your own life and watch what becomes possible. The second lesson: make quality a value, not just a standard. Quality is not about perfection. It is about caring so much about what you are doing
that you cannot accept less than your very best. That kind of caring, applied consistently, creates things that last. The third lesson: use your gifts in service of something larger than yourself. The films that changed India did not just tell stories. They asked questions. They challenged assumptions. They moved people towards something better. Whatever you are good at, find a way to use it for more than just your own advancement. The fourth lesson: have the courage to speak your truth, even when it costs you. Integrity is not comfortable. It is consistent. It means saying what you believe, even when saying nothing would be much easier and much safer.
Thank you. Thank you so genuinely and completely for your time, your attention, and your beautiful, curious mind. You are learning English, and right now, in this moment, you are doing exactly what Aamir Khan has done his entire career. You are choosing the harder, deeper, more committed path. You are saying, I will not just get by. I will actually understand. I will actually grow. That choice, that daily, quiet, courageous choice, is what separates people who arrive somewhere extraordinary from people who spend their lives standing at the door. You are not standing at the door. You are walking through it. Keep going, dear learner. Stay curious, stay committed, and remember, the perfectionist in you is not your enemy. It is your greatest teacher. I will be here with another story whenever you are ready.